Hua Hin sits quietly on the western shore of the Gulf of Thailand, about 230 kilometers south of Bangkok, and it has been drawing visitors for over a century. Unlike the party-heavy islands to the south, this royal resort town carries itself with a certain elegance, a place where the Thai royal family has long chosen to vacation, where the pace slows down just enough to remind you what a holiday is actually supposed to feel like. The beaches here stretch for kilometers, the seafood is extraordinary, and tucked between the coconut palms and the narrow back streets, there are bars that most tourists never find. This is the Hua Hin that rewards the curious traveler, the one willing to wander a little further, stay a little later, and ask the right questions of the right locals. The main beach, simply called Hua Hin Beach, runs for roughly 3 kilometers right through the center of town. It is wide, well-maintained, and lined with the kind of golden sand that catches the late afternoon light in a way that makes everything look like a postcard. In the mornings, the beach belongs to the locals, fishermen pulling in their nets, elderly Thai residents doing Tai Chi near the shoreline, and vendors setting up their carts with fresh fruit and grilled corn. By midday, the sunbeds fill up, the beach umbrellas bloom in every color, and the energy shifts into something more festive. The water here is calm and warm, ideal for swimming between November and May when the Gulf of Thailand is at its most inviting. What makes Hua Hin Beach special compared to other Thai resort beaches is the way it integrates into the town itself. You are never more than a short walk from a cold drink, a plate of pad thai, or a conversation with someone who has been coming here for decades and still cannot quite explain why they keep returning. The famous Hua Hin Pier stretches out from the northern end of the beach, and walking it at sunset is one of those simple pleasures that costs nothing and stays with you for years. About 7 kilometers south of the town center, Khao Takiab, which translates roughly to Chopstick Hill, offers a completely different beach experience. The hill itself rises dramatically from the shoreline, topped with a large golden Buddha statue and a small Buddhist temple that is home to a troop of macaque monkeys who have absolutely no fear of tourists. The beach that wraps around the base of the hill is quieter, less developed, and genuinely beautiful. The sand is slightly coarser here, the water a deeper shade of blue-green, and the fishing boats moored offshore add a layer of authenticity that the main beach sometimes lacks. Local seafood restaurants line the road that runs parallel to the beach, and eating grilled prawns here while watching the sun drop behind the hill is the kind of meal that redefines your expectations of fresh seafood. Getting here is easy. A short ride on one of the local Songthae shared taxis will drop you right at the base of the hill for a very modest fare. Spend a morning here before the day heats up, climb the steps to the temple, negotiate peacefully with the monkeys for your snacks, and then settle in at one of the beachside restaurants for a long, unhurried lunch. Further south still, about 14 kilometers from the town center, Suan Pradipat Beach is the kind of place that makes you feel like you have discovered something genuinely off the tourist trail. Managed by the Royal Thai Army, this beach sits within a pine forest that runs right down to the shoreline, creating a landscape that feels more like the Mediterranean than Southeast Asia. The pine trees provide natural shade, the beach is immaculately clean, and on weekdays especially, you can walk long stretches of it without passing another foreign visitor. There's a small entrance fee for non-residents, which is minimal and goes toward maintaining the grounds. Facilities are basic but adequate. A few food stalls, some simple changing rooms, and vendors selling cold coconuts. Bring your own snorkeling gear if you have it, because the water here is clear enough to make it worthwhile. This is the beach for those who want to read a book undisturbed, take a long swim without navigating around jet skis, or simply sit and watch the light change over the water without anyone trying to sell them anything. The bar scene in Hua Hin is not what you would find in Pattaya or Patong, and that is entirely the point. The nightlife here is more intimate, more creative, and considerably more interesting once you know where to look. The obvious starting point is the Hua Hin Night Market area near Dechenuchit Road, where the street food is excellent and the atmosphere is lively without being overwhelming. But the real discoveries happen when you step away from the main drag and start exploring the side streets. On Napkahart Road, which runs parallel to the beach, a cluster of small bars has developed organically over the years, each with its own personality. Some are little more than a few stools, a refrigerator full of cold Singa beer, and a playlist that somehow always seems to be exactly right. Others have invested in proper cocktail menus, craft spirits, and bartenders who genuinely love what they do. One of the most rewarding aspects of Hua Hin's bar scene is the growing number of venues that have taken cocktail culture seriously. Several rooftop bars have opened in recent years, offering elevated views over the Gulf of Thailand, alongside drinks that would not look out of place in Bangkok's most sophisticated establishments. The combination of sea breeze, a well-made gin and tonic with fresh lemongrass, and a sky that shifts from orange to deep purple as the sun sets is genuinely difficult to improve upon. Beyond the rooftops, there are garden bars tucked behind guest houses where fairy lights hang from frangipani trees, and the music is kept low enough that you can actually have a conversation. These are the places where long-term expats mix with curious travelers, where the owner often sits at the end of the bar and has a story about every photograph on the wall. The craft beer movement has also reached Hua Hin, with a handful of venues now stocking Thai microbrews alongside international options, a welcome development for anyone who has grown tired of the standard lager choices. Hua Hin has a surprisingly strong live music tradition, rooted partly in its long history as a destination for Bangkok's wealthier residents who brought their cultural tastes with them. Several bars in the town center and along the beachfront feature live jazz, blues, and acoustic performances on a regular basis. The quality is consistently high. Many of the musicians are professionals who have chosen Hua Hin's relaxed lifestyle over the grind of the capital. Finding these venues requires a little wandering, which is itself part of the pleasure. Follow the sound of a saxophone drifting down a quiet alley, push open a door that looks like it might lead to a storage room, and you may find yourself in a dimly lit room with 20 people listening to some of the best live music you will hear anywhere in Thailand. These are not tourist shows. They are the genuine musical communities that happen to welcome visitors warmly. The best way to experience Hua Hin is to resist the urge to plan too rigidly. Rent a bicycle or a scooter and follow the coastal road south, stopping wherever the view demands it. Eat breakfast at a market stall, spend the morning at whichever beach calls to you, and let the afternoon dissolve into a long seafood lunch that stretches towards sunset. When the light starts to fade, make your way back toward town and let the evening unfold naturally. A cold drink here, a plate of something grilled there, and eventually the sound of live music pulling you through a doorway you had not noticed before. Hua Hin rewards the traveler who arrives without a fixed agenda and leaves with a list of reasons to come back. The beaches are beautiful, the bars are genuinely interesting, and the town itself has a warmth and character that is increasingly rare in Thailand's more heavily visited destinations. Come with an open mind, comfortable shoes, and a willingness to wander. The rest will take care of itself.